Team Fortress 2 is a game of many mechanics. We have movement mechanics such as rocket jumping, double jumping, and we have damage mechanics such as double donking, mini crits. Heck, we even have craft mechanics allowing us to craft most of the items available in the game. But today, I'll tell you about a mechanic which is long lost, only remembered by the few TF2 veterans that still play today. In this video, I'll be telling you about the forgotten mechanic which gave cosmetics a new type of power, a power which is rarely experienced in Team Fortress 2. Today, we're talking about item sets. But before we talk about that, let me explain in 60 seconds or less how a browser changed my TF2 gaming life. So, as some of you have already noticed, I use the Opera GX browser. Opera GX is the world's first gaming web browser. It's been my personal go-to browser for over a year now, because every other browser kinda just sucked. I mean, it got to the point where I couldn't even play Team Fortress 2 and have my browser open at the same time. Opera GX completely solves that problem by having an inbuilt GPU, CPU, and network limiter, allowing you to play Team Fortress 2 with a minimal lag. Opera GX is also far superior with its customizability. Using the GX corner, you can see hot deals on games, and you can even see games that are currently free. No gamer should be without the Opera GX browser. And if you don't have a computer, you can get Opera GX Mobile. Download Opera GX free using the link in the description. And if you do install it, type hashtag installGX and I'll be rating your profile picture in the comments. And let's return back to the video. So the story of this mechanic begins way back in the summer of 2013. A TF2 update dropped, giving us 8 brand new cases and a total of 64 new cosmetics. But what was most interesting of all was the new tweaked item sets. Item sets which gave you in-game bonuses. So how about we get right to the point and have a look at these item sets. The Special Delivery. Using the Shortstop, Mad Milk, Holy Mackerel, and the Milkman, you're granted plus 25% max health. The Special Delivery set was a pretty powerful set, as 25 health can be the difference between life and death in many scenarios, and almost guarantees you a win in a 1v1, versus another scout of course. After some time, Valve decided to remove the buff and instead adding a calling card to be left on victims. This happened to many of the items that will be listed, and it was likely removed due to how complicated it makes balancing items in Team Fortress 2. This is the Tank Buster. Using the Black Box, Battalion's backup, and the Grenadier's soft cap, you were granted plus 20% damage resistance from sentries. The Tank Buster set was designed to give the soldier an even more powerful counter to engineers. Rather than a sentry bullet just hitting you for 20 damage, it would only hit you for 16. Now, although it might not sound like a lot, this was a big buff, and the extra couple seconds of tanking a sentry can definitely result in you being able to kill that sentry, or even just escape around the corner. The Gas Jockey's gear. Using the Degreaser Power Jack and the Attendant, you're granted a plus 10% faster move speed, but an extra 10% bullet damage vulnerability. The Gas Jockey's gear allowed the pyro to run quite a bit faster, and with movement being as crucial as it is in Team Fortress 2, it obviously was a big advantage. But with this set came a pretty big downside. The downside was that it took 10% more damage from bullets, making you extra vulnerable to classes like the Scout or the Heavy, and almost making the pyro a glass cannon. Unfortunately, this was also removed and replaced with a calling card like many of the other sets. The Croco style kit. Using the Sydney Sleeper, Darwin's Danger Shield, the Bushwhacker, and the old Snaggletooth, you were granted immunity to headshots. Now, the Croco style kit had possibly one of the biggest advantages of them all. Being able to be immune to headshots is crazy. And when I say immune to headshots, headshots still did damage, but it will never be able to kill you. I think this was implemented due to the Sydney Sleeper not being able to kill headshots. But obviously it backfired a little bit, making the Sydney Sleeper a little too overpowered, because after some time, Valve replaced this bonus with a calling card for your victims. Now last, but certainly not least, is the Saharan Spy. Using the Leotronja, your Eternal Reward, and the Familiar Fez, you'll have a reduced decloak sound volume. Now, I'll be honest here, this has to be one of my favorite sets of them all, and definitely has been one of the main sets to keep its value over the years. This set used to make you have a reduced decloak sound volume, which was super handy with the Dead Ringer back in the day. But when this bonus was removed, it arguably became better for most people. After the removal of the perks, the Saharan Spy set gave the player an unusual sandstorm effect while taunting. I remember back in the day getting this set and just taunting to feel what it would be like to have an unusual. It's honestly quite a magical experience, and I recommend for any of you out there who don't have an unusual to go try out this set. Now, whilst you may think item sets are completely dead and a thing of the past, that's not completely true. Valve over the time has been adding more and more item sets, which contain either misc or circumstantial bonuses. For example, the Isolationist pack. Using the Alien Cranium, Biomech Backpack, and the Xeno Suit, you'll take more damage from the Nostromo Epona, but also deal more damage to a Pyro using the Isolated Merc set. It's the really small things such as this which make TF2 the unique and oddly deep game it is. I think some more honourable mentions for item sets with bonuses include the Highland Hound set, which allows the Demoman to perform a Howl Taunt, the Franken Heavy, which allows the Heavy to perform a Scary Scream Taunt, and finally the Brundle Bundle, which gives the Engineer a high-pitched loud squeaky voice for all his voice lines, which can really catch people off guard in game. Let me know what you think about item sets in the comments below, and subscribe for more TF2 videos.